The quiet helper Arav was the quietest student in Class 7B. He didn't speak much, kept to himself, and was always buried in a book. Most of his classmates didn't notice him, and if they did, they assumed he liked it that way. Then there was Kunal, bright, cheerful, and popular. He was good at sports, loved by teachers, and always surrounded by friends. But there was one thing no one knew. Kunal was struggling with math. No matter how hard he tried, the numbers just didn't make sense. Their teacher, Mrs. Mehra, announced a surprise math test on Monday. Kunal froze. He couldn't fail again, not when everyone expected him to do well. That evening, Arav noticed Kunal sitting alone in the library, staring blankly at a math textbook. Arav hesitated. He wasn't the type to start conversations, especially not with someone like Kunal. But something made him walk over. "Need help?" he asked, barely above a whisper. Kunal looked up, surprised. Uh, yeah, kind of. But I don't think you'd want to waste your time." Arav shrugged. "I like math." For the next hour, they sat together. Arav patiently explained concepts in a way that finally made sense to Kunal. There were no jokes, no sarcasm, just quiet support. When the bell rang, Kunal stood up. "Thanks, man. Seriously." Arav just nodded and walked away. Over the next few days, they met secretly during breaks and after school. Arav never told anyone. He didn't want praise. Helping felt right. That was enough. On Monday, the class took the test. When Mrs. Mehra returned the papers, Kunal stared at his score in disbelief. 27 out of 30. His highest ever. "Excellent improvement, Kunal," she beamed. "You must have worked very hard." Kunal smiled but didn't speak. He glanced at Arav, who sat quietly, his face buried in his book as usual. Later that week, the school held its annual assembly for awards. Kunal was called up for Most Improved Student in Mathematics. As he stood on stage holding the certificate, he paused before speaking. "I want to thank someone who made this possible. He never asked for recognition. He never even told anyone he helped me. But today I want you all to know, Arav, you're the real reason I'm standing here." The room went silent. Then came the applause. Arav looked up, startled, as every head turned toward him. A few students patted his back. Mrs. Mehra smiled warmly. Arav stood slowly, shy and unsure. But Kunal walked down from the stage and gave him the certificate. "You deserve this more than I do," he said. Arav smiled for the first time in a long while. Moral: true kindness is doing the right thing without expecting anything in return. But sometimes quiet goodness becomes the loudest lesson of all.